2 major setbacks in 6 weeks. That's the kind of sentence that ends careers in commercial space.
Blue Origin's New Glenn was supposed to be the moment Bezos' rocket company stopped being the also-ran. Instead, the hot fire test on Tuesday ended in fire of a different kind. The rocket is gone. Launch Complex 36 at Cape Canaveral took serious damage. No injuries. That's the only good sentence in this paragraph. The thing about credibility is that it compounds. So does the loss of it. 2 major setbacks in 6 weeks resets a clock that Blue Origin had been carefully running down. The competitive question isn't whether they can rebuild the pad. They can on a 12 to 18-month timeline. The real question is what that timeline does to Project Kuiper, Amazon's broadband satellite play that depends on Blue Origin launches to reach orbital cadence. And the larger question, the one defense planners in DC are quietly asking, is what happens to US space launch resilience when SpaceX is the only Western heavy lift option for the next year? Single vendor risk on critical national infrastructure is a phrase that's about to get loud.
Here's what's verified across 17 outlets and 21 source articles. Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket exploded during a hot fire test at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station's Launch Complex 36 on Tuesday. The launch vehicle is a total loss. Pad infrastructure is heavily damaged. No personnel injuries reported. This is Blue Origin's second major setback in 6 weeks, following an in-flight anomaly on a prior mission. Project Kuiper, Amazon's broadband satellite constellation, depends on New Glenn for orbital deployment cadence. The Federal Aviation Administration has opened a mishap investigation. Pad rebuild timelines for U.S. heavy lift launch infrastructure typically run 12 to 18 months. The immediate operational story is the destruction of pad infrastructure, which typically takes longer to rebuild than the rocket itself. The more important story is what 12 to 18 months of single-vendor U.S. heavy lift looks like. SpaceX now operates the only Western heavy lift cadence capable of supporting the Artemis moon program, large commercial constellations, and Department of Defense launch needs simultaneously. This is not a stable equilibrium. The defense community has been pushing for diversified launch capacity since the early 2020s, precisely to avoid this concentration. For Project Kuiper, the implications are concrete. Amazon's 2027 broadband revenue forecast assumed a New Glenn cadence that just slipped. Bezos can buy launches from SpaceX, and probably will, but at margins, that work against the Kuiper versus Starlink commercial case. For Blue Origin's commercial credibility, the question is whether 2 setbacks in 6 weeks reads as bad luck or as systemic. Customers, including the U.S. government, are going to make that judgment in the next 90 days. Here's where the major reads on this failure line up, and where they don't. The industry operational view, aerospace pragmatists, argues hot fire test failures are an expected feature of large rocket development. SpaceX had several. This is the cost of building hard things. The competitive view, Wall Street and the tech press, sees this as SpaceX consolidating a moat. The Falcon Heavy and Starship cadence makes Blue Origin's gap structural, not temporary. The national security view, defense analysts, focuses on the single vendor risk problem. One commercial heavy lift provider for the entire Western alliance is not a defensible posture. Where they agree, this is a real setback, not a minor anomaly. Biases detected in the cluster, competitive framing emphasis, most outlets anchored on Bezos versus Musk narrative rather than infrastructure resilience. And anchor on pad not program, the destroyed pad got more coverage than the Project Kuiper revenue implications. Media health score, 74. That's the read. 21 source articles, 17 outlets. The full analysis is at si-news.ai. Stay sharp.